listening to Bitilo with Mfali Fadera. You're listening to Bitilo with Mfali Fadera.
Assalamu alaikum mbadi lamelalu ngali konton ngali bismillah na Bitilo kibaro dijang Allah badi malum falli fadera ngali konton bitenango jun karoti liseo lambenyin sango menkono konton dro ko la drong nsa fale ko bi ngaluntam bunyari mbal soto jam menkera professor Yerro Mballow atekera moti malon ko atele mu chairman oti National Tax Force and Mediation Committee member maraling anda be nyaton ka kekan banko opposition la so nyokan wala Gambia banko kam lala kilo bakan kata kobe ke kan Gambia banko kam kaje ko banko opposition le so nyokan yeke kilinti ye nyaton ka kilintam bindi nyin carte finala men nyanta sot la Gambia banko kam December karin kono 2026 sawala ben saw men kono ten nyim professor Yerro Mballow atele be nyin ko be nyaton ka kan nin kube nyin opposition coalition kacha kuoto mote kulon na je membe tambilate la wala na akita nye kontanu se wodi ka soto jam bi nabe dinkala ko bele kono me kacha kila ko be fanale la opposition coalition kacha tembo mento nyin tembenna jumalel be wakiling jumalel be nafarin koto anim fanam fo sobe banko opposition olu ese so no nyo kan bang ye mokilin tambindi membe kela candidate de nyin kate finala Gambia ya kungo tilim menna teng ning professor Mballow la kachabe kela telephone to kadum mam filal mako nyin temben na Gambia banko kan molbe kole asoto kambake internet on kuran wala karolale wona reke fendi me alon ko professor Mballow fanambo nyom bata si fala soto kan so ba soto la WhatsApp le nabe kacha nyin kela wala to professor nsebu lay ni mol se nyo konton katabake ning konton dro botala dro nga katabato jibe ke kunto kibaro la ngamen soto jang wukola nsina bula kacha kono bismillah programme do Prof malam febe moy kande ba mbadi ngolu wole mu professor Mballow di mbe kolea soto kan internet la karola ko ngafi nyame mbadi mbe menke la katabake doron sela may demanding nga jibe ke kunta kibaru la ning ubata la doron ning professor Mballow sina dun kacha kono bari sa fala tol fane ko atol membe jibe kan anatal membe lamoy kan radio do Gambia banko kan Vibes FM ning atara ali nyinin karol soto al se nyinin karol selendi mbe kata kele kaje ko de nge karanga mi nga professor Mballow nyinin kala ka nyaatu do man ning kacha kono alin ning kunta kibarol sita ning ubata la doron ning professor Yerro Mballow sina bla kacha kono mbadi ngolu ngali konton kotake ngali bismillah Bitilo to jang nsa fale ko atel membe moy kan radio to album moy kan Vibes FM le 106.1 FM ndamananta fanan nsa fale ko kal nyabala te nyame nga studio kuto le soto Bitilo to jang kontantan sewota kaliaji nyame ben kato dango beke kan kaji kode ka kulu mulungo nyinyandi ka kulu yurwandi isaje nse kali tenten ka kibar kendo samanale nan jang al fanan sen sembentino nyamen al sem mako no nyamen wole mu nal subscribe tan na channel to tarinke men be YouTube Facebook anin bla ko tangol to moluka subscribe nyamen a janjango fanan ka sonia wala nyama ansal bolo se fanan ko ning lamin kaba bajo nyanta ka interview men soronum nyin jumata mila aman tanonum meyo sabu wole mu nga kole yala sotonum kuran wala karola ning internet watna num fo mankeno bari nin kababajol interview be kala nyin arabana la menkeda nyi Wednesday nabe kacha kala kujama la men yalan ko wala be den atala do ko la banko la katadam fukunda bari na kundo kibarolu mbo folo la menna kajibe ke kibar la nga memmuta ata nyin standard newspaper bulu membe den nyin opposition party la nyin sonyo kan kilingo ko la kibaru le aytani je ko nyin coalition tax force committee professeur Yerro Mballow men nyaton ke nim men nyanta kana kacha soto Bitilo la ten wolle kala kankularo ke ka jama molu kalamantandi ko silam parawo ketale pour opposition parti lu men yalon ko wolle be nyin coalition kacha kono pour ye mo tambindi ila faka men nominate be mela faka men tombong prae ke nyaton koti o opposition coalition o nyin kono ye yo kankularo ke nyin dimasi tambilalla kabin tumo men e ko ye kumfar ke kacal la men yalon ko duma kacal men yalon ko itolu opposition party yol damangol be wala soto kanum e damangol tema e ko la nyin kacal ban o sotta num sehkato sin sibir tambilalla o sotta num bawba hotel olto birin kaca botala le mu kankularo nyin keta sana ñu sepalo kibar kayti kelngo nyin kono e ko Yerro Mballow diamata professeur adu riye meytani wala mu ko ako silam futata tembel to me yalon ko be sasiro ke kan nyin political party la ani movement ol ben bebe nyin kata ko kono pour ise mo tambindi mo me alon ko eto lafta ka wala tambindi pour weke nyin coalition opposition coalition nyaton koti men keta flag biarati ko kibaru lay tan nyamena ara nyim prof Mballow brabe diam ka woto ako mense problemo banno Gambia kan ako kukilinem wala mu banko opposition la so nyo kan wati ako dalilo kambala abe be sasila pour isela fatam fansol num kambe mbalia landi karala e Gambia la ko jibe aja Fatoumata Tambajang me alon ko afanan dabe nyin opposition kata ko konole andi ko le nyin bentambila tele a jianung afanan diamuta nun wodlatole ako abe sasiro kila anyom politician la men be nyin kata ko kono pruise ila kunkilin nafalu landi karala ye banko tambinde ako katum mbe kule kono me alon ko asekeno tariko tile gambe banko kan andu momo e ko kuke ako insalon ko sinin sama banko dingolu anin tariko be konti bola lalem mbadingol hanibi atani opposition coalition kilingola kola Talib Ahmed Bensouda diamuta kaitani je ko ako ning opposition coalition nyanta ka mo tambindi ako kamari tambindi amanyan na denna ko amari la patio siata katambi moko tan walla ako hani amanyan na kelawo nyama ko aytani nyamenna ako kadu ning atara jamalem patio la sia ako tendum nte opposition kufala ako nimmomo jikita ko itela patio dingolu la nankamo wala nyanta atina la foyta nyanta ka tambi kolu nyato ako woto nying opposition coalition kilingo kafu nyokongo ako nafatala akata la miroto molu nyanta ka menjibe wala mu amari lanno sahayati amari ye hamo men soto bankoye anim fanam fomole me alon ko Gambia dingol se bambuno amari ko mal no le bang ni opposition ya tambindi ko aytan ni nyamenna nyinin ko makaton la ate wolel sata ka lod la itan ni ka lod la bambandi ni opposition kacata membe ke kan ako esa faali memfo antol fanam be bamburin wole koma manyan na ka fo dron ko karila la patio siata karila la patio diata wo dalilo kam nga molu tambindi nga dol tuje nyinin ko makaton la ate wole sata lo ya sunu dabo fanan diamata ni opposition ku kilimo fanan na ate la miroto ako opposition la so nyokango kamo kilin tambindi ako dammale se president Adama Barrow wulindino Gambia banko kam akabe sasiro kila opposition party la pour ye tuje nyotuje ye nyalo president Adama Barrow kan katung wole be sirin sirawo kan etul bebe la firi menna la seno dabo kay nyin kuma kan sifalu sata UDP la bengol to men sotanu lamen sato kono ako abe sasiro kila opposition party la pour ibese katon be ke de nyola ye mo kilin tambindi ako lafaka ku kilin senendi mama kande manken tulu jawdi esa fal manken jawdi Talib Ahmed Bensouda manken jawdi ako Bitilo lan tulu jawo mendi politiko kono nyabe lori menkan wole mu president Adama Barrow di lafaka tele bondi ako mo be nyanta denna wolela ko aytandi nyamenna ako fanam abo nyon kuma kan kilingol lel fanam yitandila ala parti dingo mol la pour be sa jawo nyama ko itolo position dam mawli ye fata nyola ye nyalo mo kan me alon ko ibebe la frinka wala wulindi mansa siran kan Gambe banko kam mbadi ngolo kata bato jibe ke kibala medending isanso nin tulo ko wala Gambe banko kam e ko Gambe man sakundale ye laisino sika kadi Italian company dola pour wose tulu singo pour wose tulo nyini Gambia la fanka solu kono anin dula ko to ka jibe bam fo Gambia tulo nin gaso sutule woketo tulo nin gaso te men yalon ko dole jikita ko Gambia be sirin a kanne nal hakilo ba ka wari sotta nun komando a kankulata ko Gambia be sirin tulo barka jamale kam bari anara sen kan kankula ko yara fan kul mantara lari wonyama bari molu be jele man sakunda bol kono menu nun jiko be sirin ko Gambia be sirin tulo nin esanso kanne ye laisino di Italian company dole la iko ka fa me ko ini pour wose wo tulu nyino ke Gambia ye na fankasolu kono ka jibe fombe tulo sotlale ko kibaro le tan nyamenna madingol independent electoral commission wallelu ko ela nyin voter supplementary registration membe kering menketa nyin carte kayte di malon ko walla di banko kanten e ko ya jele ko mentata kanyam fommo wuli muang anin nani walleli ye carte kayto nyini ko signa fula menketa double registration de wana fa multiple registration ko ya tandi nyamena ya tandi je ko nyimmolu men yalon ko wallelu muta nyinnaten e ko dolu beje ye carte kayto nyini la ko signa fula dolu beje ya nyini fang fo men tambita signa lula mo kilingo kata dinkira luluto wala dinkira jamalu men siata kelindi kata ka carte kayto nyini e tol duye maytandi wala mu ko e ko nyinkede to le dew ku bati kato ko nyimmo muli muwanni nano nin ko mum fango anin banjulu carte tiolu be fango bina kanyanna kontola menkeda banjul city council to ko aytandi nyamenna wodello kambala e ka dew ko warte kan bake bari laftale fanan ka aytandi molla ko ka carte o nyini ko signa fula wara fanka kulke menni luwani silo manta carte nyino karola luwa so kolemu andum busare bala belari nga kunnatola dalasi wuli kemen lulu wara fang mense siano fang sanji fulati bunjaworo ko aya itandi nyamenna nyinin kuma kotongolu ate wulu sata men bedending kate fe ko wala bara ko nyimmo wuli muwanni nanolu ela ko be lala bulomento ako ini opposition party ol bedunna badim bunne ka jibe e be ko lala nyamen fo be amnesty dilelal fo eta dilela ko aya itandi nyamenna mbadi ngolu me kum faro kala banko kibaro la janne kunto kibaro lu jibewol ko ngafa nyamen ngalunta men soto jam wole mu professor Yerro Mballow me alon ka tele mu chairman oti National Task Force Committee on Mediation and Coalition wole mu nyin coalition kafoti me alon ko banko oppositional ba tama kan pour ka jiko de mo clinton bindi membe nyaton ka kela banko oppositional la nyin kate finala ni murtanan al kanata hanidula to nga professor Mballow suro line otole ni murtanan dorong nasina bla kacha ko mbariŋolu ŋali konto ŋali bisimila bitilo kibaro te jankore ke ato men be moy ka radio tal be moy kam Vibes FM 106.1 FM APS International wole bloben na bitilo kibaro kodo ko nga fa nyami nga professor Mballow sore jang atol men fanam ben jibe kam nsafale ko alsal la nyinin karol parendi nyaato do manning be nyinin kar danta no seren la ka professor Mballow nyinin ka wala professor Mballow nge konto nge bisimila bitilo kibaro te jam lafta nga kacha folo damento ila ko lata banke oto anim farmanso to jamalie kabin tumo men na ye dadu nyin coalition kacha ko kono membe ke kan gambe banko kanteng so lafta dron ka kacha da damendo malam foy be lamoy kan ning jele ba ni be lamoy kan jembe dan la doro iso you can turn off the device there because aka feedback sama nan jenne bari lafa ke nyin ka men na ka kacha dadi ise fam fo molye mol men yalon ko tumando bato melong ite kam muneke anim fanan ida nata dunno nyaadi nyin coalition kacha kono nyame nyi opposition kacha me alon ko wala be ke kan ten gambe banko kam bismillah
yo ibarka falle fadara nge konton fana la wala gina programme la wala mu bitilo la nge nga gambe be konton an mo be yalo ko bi damoro ne nyi bitilo la anu fana be bant banko to fana na konton do mbamba kere na on Gambian citizens mi alon ki ya lam iba lam wala sai la programme to andu fana ngi konton definitely pour ila invitation a me fana tentula me jela fana ila doko nyinyat ila doko dal bank doko lom wala na bank doko mo kendo don wala ka kan wi fana you are just doing the best thing as a citizen so wala you are a good citizens and of course you are also a positive citizen. So, nge konto wala. So, faldi, abe jam fale drong pour na, and then let me just make it short pour na dumalam profession baloti, dunta nang, nying coalition mediation yadile, and what is the timeline, and what is the doko mune nyiti. So, abe kumala bagi fam wallam wala ilam wala bitilo nying alone. Intelom professor Yerro Mballow ya funyadi o ya funyamento wala and intelu ndamata bank des da jani bina fang pour ngani bulanin coalition talks or coalition building talks no be funti be ndata dula toto be je Ghana nu mbona nje ndata Kenya so wasifanu kami nata nang nu fanang na CV is a long one but kami nata kami invite ila first meeting auto invite janni be nying establish la so ADD wala nying dati ADD wala Mali Camara la party kabe ya dati stakeholders be kumandi so political party will be kumani UDP nyol will be inata dankun so kabe dankun so endel ideas on wala we are calling you pour nga campaign because campaign balia definitely at the Gambia sambala especially na system mi yalon ko system kurolom system mi yalon ko am better it's a very bad governance so the only solution is for coalition opposition be da a comeback they can form one unified united opposition front so kabri ngo keta dron force meeting nying jumali ya jisting wala mo ADD fadan wala jana Karava Avenue nata so meeting commencé on the 18th of April and about so it's almost now 7 meetings so now completely so and coming nata initially jani minafon they started with somebody and Ibrahim S. Bah as an interim chairman at the same time the secretary Kabinata so unanimously opposition bay at the Karava Beach Hotel they accepted voting for me elect unanimously agreed that they have to elect somebody who is going to lead this coalition so in Tombong in different Sonta Wanyama and we also laid down a TOR one term of reference then they adopted that na team on faran different amid by TPB yalo mo diba mi yalo ko abe do ko len UN for almost 30 years at the Security Council o fana be na team oti and Martin ngaloya fanan soto mi yalo ko be na committee we have almost a cross section of every expertise in this committee so all of that definitely so wala yen to mo nyama and fanan sonta so that we can also give them a direction. So what that sign for that tempo mialonko B is the talks of the town, and that is the big question is for opposition they campaign and for they campaign. So why will we encourage Fali? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Mballow. Ye kacha dati nyaming ya kono fanundi bake. Ya fo molie ite dunta kuo kono nyaming ini menu ba kono ko ya fo nyaming lo ya Martin Nyolu karafo Mr. Diba me alon ko United Nations do kulale mati. Lafta silang ngadamento jibe wole mu nyin coalition kacha me alon ko le dati dati. Abe mun tembelero mben bitilo mento teng. Anim fanang nyinang nyin coalition kacha do me alon ko wole be ke kanteng. Anin coalition kacha tuma kotongol fatata nyadile.
Thank you very well. And ila nyini karo akumba ta baki from fallu definitely. Defan nyini karo content baki. Yaje coalition keta aka kele in fact in the world around the world. Ngajele on the 2016 Gambia jang coalition ketal. Anu coalition ni mi yalon ko ani nying ifatana baki from uno because coalition 2016 yes election of winner but government farang failed. So they won election, but they fell in government. You see, so wala na andung farang wo coalition farang atadun nyamin wala ya semben ya de mi yalonko was imang instrument sort of mi yalonko wo instrument iba tamani la wonyam andung nyinang this 2026 coalition opposition coalition after back why because we are establishing these ones not on handshake but on paperwork yaje so ko be atata nyan nata be wolum be startol fan ya ngalondele already so will be alone opposition to a political party mi alon ko be involved they are involved in this coalition talks they are morning ya alone there are conditions that guides this process so what condition killing the code of conduct. Code of conduct is the one that guide the process. So what code of conduct, all of them will be they all sign for this. So Kabi Waketa, we are now at arranging their work together, and that is all their inputs together. So ni work it drop, be sembentual deal la wonum ibe lola in a position where nobody can hijack the process. So this process or this coalition, after the 2016 coalition, after the 2021, there was de facto in alliance with NPP, so more understand that this is the solution for the Gambia. And Fali, call them, inform all of them that needing coalition definitely, if they don't embrace this coalition, it means Imam Pare for Gambia is a change. Because this is the only face that this is the only solution for the Gambian problem. Opposition unity, that is the only solution. And this year is the chance for the Gambian people. Because ko Seattle, and ko be malarile, ko bebe tinya ni Gambia konoja. Mo bebe can find, mo bebe. I mean, if we understand Kumoto definitely is trouble. So we are giving them the best alternative. We are giving them the best solution. And the best solution, what I'm mean, opposition coalition. All the opposition today, they have actually so there is possibility of salvaging the Gambia. All of them came to answer this question. So UDP based on the UDP PP Sobea, Mama Kandinol, 17 entities. Or more than that, even 22 now. So
no lafa ke nyininka wala saying through nga kolu killing bomoli nyoro. Opposition party jelle be nyin kata ko kono membe ke kan kaji ko de ye mo Clinton bendi this ongoing coalition kacha mi alon ko ite be wala nyatun ka kante mo jelle opposition party jelle ba kono
falli oppositional party ani movement is yatare just ngadol konti drong we have UDP BL ADD BL APP Sobia BL GDC BL GPAP BL PAP BL UMC BL, Gambia Movement for Change BL, Professor Yafa ila movement, NAC BL, Waref Frank BL, NDP BL, Madi Bojang, Kiba Madi Bojang.
So
CCC, is Seattle, definitely. We have 22 now entities.
So Ninkumu pour kumala sutia kamadrong. O banko opposition lu bele be nyin kono bang fodu kafu be jele sa fo men ko amantra je folo nyin temen
yes nabra because of kacha dol dati so ni wo kacha banta ifana
wallen jumati sorry line o kuntu sawoto le jumal la wodi
so PDIS ifana be kacha dol so ni wo kata ndel ngamini wo kele of course, several times for Halifa and Kumandi, so ya sasle ila pido is amantra pido is wala ila on atodu fang Gambia team Gambia good team Gambia so what's assuming if I be consultation underground consultation nay wa ketadro then ibe jubelal puri if I say sound so positive atodu fang PAP wala mpak fanang diamo keta kunu fanang apex yankole meeting on that so fanang wol fanang ibe ila function ko ayrenya ibe sawnale so sign da wala movement on bi yalanko ko coalition groups bi yalanko coalition talks group bi yalanko imantra already with all but ifana be maman ken dumale wol be ko ibinale ibe bagasul be pagla yenana we solidify it and then we consolidate. Now, effort, then we see the way out. What the man, definitely.
Okay, so puru kasene ni dorong ninkumu banko opposition party olu be anin political kafu kotengolu men boko UMC meni alon ko la party ya mambula follow anin Dr. Yafa la movement o ko ya fanyame wol bele be bamburi nyo koma fo doy nyin temben na because doy ko etolu fanambe coalition katako do le fanan ke kan ko bari ni wo mambula ibinale kafal man nga tara nge faham ibe wala fokan kodi okay so la fakam men fanan senendi nga kalamutale ko def nga fa nyameng alla meeting follow ke gonum april sang kono bari nga jele ko alkatu meeting ol soto lale alka kankularo likele kamulu kalamutandi wo meeting olu what are they about you know alaka mune kachawaro mune fanam beke kan iso fo molen saje mol sa faham membe ke kan all along.
All right, thank you, Falli. Yaje, meeting morning, we were tasked to as a committee, to purunga ngamito ke every Saturday, and every Saturday more clean be more clean be Jala, okay. So covering at ADD was the first one. Second, UDP Nata India. Third, GDC Nata India. The fourth one, APP Sobe Nata India. The fifth one, and Nata India GMC. And then the sixth one, PAP Nata India. The seventh one, DRP. Vice President, for Vice President, Farmer Jalo Tambajan, and the eighth one, me alonko this Saturday, me alonko kana on the 6th, and on the 6th of June, Esa Bokar, si Ambassador Bokar Benjiala Jana, we met resident. So, and we meet going Fali, until we have what we call an item and a process. So, coming on the first meeting, we've already what we did was we drafted a TOR. Or tax, you understand. So term of reference mi alonko do ko nying ngana datela bari ngaka nyamen. So no be safe ngalandi. Then we move that adopt, then it becomes an instrument for all of us. Okay. So the second meeting covering data, then we also process the code of conduct. So so it's a process. So it's a strategy session. All the strategy session agenda sorole agenda mi yalanko nga discuss le na meet up from 10 o'clock up to 5 o'clock. So then we come to a conclusion, and then whatever comes out, the outcomes, when we accept that, we put it it becomes our chantan. We call it chantan house. So I'm journalists the invalid. We only give it out a press statement after the meeting, so that we kono diamolom.
Badim bung kachalem. Okay.
Exactly. Badim kachala. So then you go funtini dal ko bebe betala inshallah.
Prof, lafake nyininka menna ngajele bi standard newspaper do. Kankularo bota ite fango bulu aning coalition task force nying ko silang wato sitale puru parti yolu ye la molu tamanang ye molu tolu tambindi molu men yalon ko la fa waleli ye inyatun kaya. What does that really mean in practice? Wobo mole nyoto bang?
It's very important. It's showing that we are gaining, and opposition will be parital for any system of bonding. System Gambia baby. So open nominations for flag bearer. It is a strategy for such a coalition talks. So why open nomination now? December 5th, is almost 5 months ahead of the elections. Now, after a position for the last month, then there will be a chaos. We actually open nomination right now, early as this time. So until CTMC, we have to come forward, and more if you believe that you have the ideas, the record, and the integrity to lead, you saw us. So if we have now the process definitely allows debate for interviews and in background checks fan. So wala na Gambian fang inyanta jubela mo mi alonko he is very serious. The patient mi alonko are serious tale anu fana apparently pour not only to chase power but apparently pour ye nying Gambia bata bondi if mo fana but ila bata bondi, especially we have 3 C's mi alonko ibe problem. I always remind the coalition entities about that, the cost of living mo bebe bata ni tata majority na so the corruption is just treble, and for a constitutional review. So reform in baby problem is we are all in problem. So it's still trouble. So we come out and then announce for this nomination to be held now. So what happened next? We are interested to receive their nominees, the list of nominees. We go through that, and then we look at and then we invite them for other subsequent activities. So definitely.
So lafa ke nyinin ka menna nomination se bono patiol da male bulu bang fo Gambia belem mo yalon ko interest in the process.
And the new nomination is only limited to
participating political parties.
You know, exactly. Participating political party. Me along, you can come up with a a name to say that okay, Fali Fadra. After we want Fali Fadra to be the flag bearer for the opposition coalition 2026. So yeah, so if we receive all that, we will come out again and tell you exactly what position are we taking.
Okay.
After receiving all these names, yeah. So more for them member kelale. But sign that bunda yeltale. Moment after for ila party for example, if one Fali Fadra Fali to stand as a presidential candidate for the flag bearership of the coalition, by submit the name and we will be picking from there. So what that will open down. It's just like a football season. It's an open window now.
Okay.
So that is how we are calling it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So ninkumu political party yol men be participate kang walel ba fala ko okay ntolu UDP nga la osenu dabale tamin wala fa yaaje ko comme UDP ning GDC ning misal fe nka wala ifo aning APP so be etol be se kafuno nyom ya foko okay ntolu nyim politique kafu sabolu la faka karle tambinde I can candidate for this flag bearer. Is that what it is going to be like?
Exactly. Yeah, very well. Yes. So, so anybody that feels that yes, we can pick from any member of the party, not per se the party leader. They can now choose whoever they want to choose. Yeah, you submit that name. So, exactly is like that. So,
okay.
Flag bearer is simply the face of the coalition.
Okay.
So, in a football fan in a football team, the team has many players, but only one captain wears the armband. So what flag bearer is that is the flag bearer is the captain of this coalition.
Okay.
So for 2026 election, definitely internal committee, we want all opposition party and independent voices. They rally behind one single candidate. That candidate will carry the flag of unity.
Okay.
So that's what we are promoting. That's what we are calling.
So in terms of the next steps, ning opposition party yoliye mo nominate ikumata ko okay sila nto lafta nyuleliye tambi nyato kake opposition coalition nyina candidate. What would be the next steps and what are the timelines also? Muntumale mu albe nomination da sorona muntumale nkarte feo be kela tombonke mo la mealam ko wolbe nyato ka kela ni opposition coalition ona.
All right, thank you very much Vali for this question. I never we have what we call a process. A process ni nomination keta drong ni ana banda drong. Then we have also prepared what we call criteria, eligibility criteria for flag bearer. So Wolfgang, we have introduced it. Okay, say ni fali farangi ni fali ni tombole ko so for fali abe tombol abe part of the list mi yalo ko moye tombole, for example. Fali me kumalele yana okay, the criteria, eligible criteria is plenty. Say we are going to look at exactly where those criteria, eligible criteria meets you as a person. So naturally you pass through all those eligibility criteria. Then we pick it from there. Then we will use a method for the flag bearer selection. So what I'm about this nomination is to see that these are the people that want to be the flag bearer of the coalition. So we have done the code of conduct, the common agenda for them, and the charter signing, seat sharing formula, a dispute tribunal, and binding time. Then we have flag bearer selection method agreed by 75% of the plenary, concession. And then we also develop finally a unified campaign structure and joint manifesto. By 11th of July, certainly, the Gambian
11th of July. 11th of July.
July. Inshallah, yeah, that is the timeline. So if there's just the flag bearer of the coalition 2026 in Adao Barrow.
mbadi ngolu wole mu professor Yerro Mballow di kaliya moy nyameng ako 11 July karotil tanning kilingola wo lunne mu nadiyata alaye ba ito la haymaroto nyin tembenna wo lunne mu kankularo be kela gambe dingolu ba lonna jumale be kela opposition coalition nyaton koti nyin kate final a menyanta sotla Gambia banko kan December karo kono bari professor Mballow yoku danta numa lafta nga dinka wolu kono domanding eko eligibility criteria mbadi ngolu puru atol men ben men ma kalamata wala mu sartol di menu nyanta ka timma sartol men yalon ko etol nyin tax force committee ye wala londi ibe nyin candidate ibe menu nominate la ibe imari nyolu yirkala wolel la ka jibe foye wo sartol timmandile ni opposition tax force committee ye sartol men timma ye sartol men landi professor Mballow la fa gen nyin ka menna isa fo moli wo sartol mu munedi
sartol falli is yatale because we have 30 eligibility criteria
tansaba
landile and tansaba eligibility criteria it can also be more than that but precisely we just have to have a number where we along could definitely but criteria in 2 places. One, the constitution of the Gambia, the constitution of the country. Okay. 2, if the other one is electoral laws. So those are the 2 sources of eligibility criteria. So now bondi from the constitution, as a candidate, you have to be citizenship. You have to be a citizen of the country. Okay. So we move to the other one, yaje. So malafi ngako be this thing. So, but those parties that are actually involved in this coalition talks, how we presented before them about this eligibility criteria. So, ni nomination issuing ni natrai ko be nem so be natalang told be natani ya sendane. Then we can now come out and tell them, okay, well, for each of you, the one ngani lande already because na kumo na kachajana mo be so ngako be this drop so bung kono do fi kachalom so balla fi ngako be lunch outside but the criteria anybody that meets the criteria and you go by definitely we will pick you from there and then natra mo saba mo nani for example meet all the criteria. We will use another method to discuss to come down, and then we have what we call concessions. The concession in the now filter down, in coalition talks building, coalition flag bearer selection. If the concession fail, we are going for voting, and then we don't want to reach to that level. And I'm sure all coalitions, successful coalition, iman tafang on voting side because voting it brings division, and division on us. So the concession will definitely accept this coalition listing, and we want everybody to go to accept that to concession. Definitely welcome the concession. So what the malum definitely fali.
So niko consensus pour mol menialon ko ibe tumando bato imang kuolu bonyoto bake because yala ninteka kibaro ke jankata mamale la membe sirin swokna be lamoy kan. I just want everything to be so consensus madingol wole mu coming kambengo basically kambengo e soto opposition olu tema songo e soto e tema nyala men ya tinda fang fo itita karte fayla wali to sotla kono puri da mawal ye kacha ye kambeng ye song mo clear tambi so a comment professor Mballow be même fo kam sorry comment professor Mballow be même fo kam
nga fali select mo be so okay say nga fali select based on political compromise fali so nga tambini wala mo concession
so ning atara woman soto ning atara e man kambenno ka mo kilin tambindi mune musim fati albe mentala
bari wobe soto ni mo soto dorong mi bida election on
voting bekela so wo voting ning lafta ngalo woleto mbari akamdo ko internet o Kenya mbe na kumakangol ka sele nyoka na se hakatu wala doratol membe la moy kam but professor Mballow lafta nga dabento jibe wala mu nying voting quote albe carte o talano la nyadi le nyimpati yol tema nyadi le abe kala ko bebe kanyen na laban equal number of votes, but how is it going to go about, how are you going to go about that?
Ani yaje coalition flag bearer selection method I taman siro sotole wolum approved by 75% plenary resolution. Sai definitely the selection method we have what we call weighted electoral college. The flag bearers shall be chosen through one round. All right, through a one round weighted delegate vote combining parties, state and regional representation on civil society input. So, but this will also avoid winner takes all dispute. While reflecting genuine national support. So, new work at that weighted electoral college for filterly. Then we go for delegate composition. Delegate composition party delegates 60% allocated proportionally, based on the agreed seat sharing formula. So, but finally, consensus will definitely be accepted because mobile after change. How we are actually seeing every participating entity in this coalition talk, you are ready to compromise. You are ready to compromise for the interest of the nation, for the interest of the citizens. Anybody that is calling me, Prof, people want these coalitions to succeed. People want this coalition to come out quickly so that we can save this Gambia from sinking. Everybody is talking about this coalition. So there is appreciation in the minds of people that this is the only solution for our problem. So voting definitely, I'm not too sure the party will accept that at the end of the day. But even if they do, we will do it, as I said, with the right method, because method will be theater. Okay. We also have candidate eligibility card. So the two methods will either be that consensus or voting. And voting, it has to be based on, as I said, either on delegates, we can send invite delegates to come, but it cannot be, on a separate issue. So we have to have everything balanced. So, in Kobe Senate of Falling, opposition. Everything is on fairness, everything is on honesty, and everything is also on competence and transparency. Definitely.
Prof, ikambe mfoten ngamira mobebe la fila walela. Kambengo isoto oppositional da mangol ye nyomoy ye mo tambinde bari ndol be ngala nako ni opposition party lu ibe mandara ka ko yening nyakilingola. They have different views on how the opposition coalition building process should be handled. Mbina watola in a bit. Bari la fake nyinin ka menna jamado sobri menna wala muko nying askena be laban na carte fayole la pour ka consensus sama na da mangol te makambe ngase koleano. But Nico, the weighted electoral college, what does that mean in layman terms? Is it coming? Albaji bela la patiol be wara linyo e nyame. Aliye karte wonyon karte nankamo dilabang. Can you break that down for us, please?
This weighted electoral college, one of the flag bearers shall be chosen through a one round. Only
one round of voting.
One round.
Okay.
One round. Well, weighted delegate vote. The weighted delegate vote combining party. So we will vote combining the party. So when we invite you, you as a delegate, you will vote combining the party strength. So party strength is important there for this weighted electoral college. How is that? Maybe, for example, Fadera Party it has what you call, a very formidable support in rural Gambia, for example. But in urban Gambia, no, so there is no strength, there's no complete strength on that. But definitely rural areas, there is a massive support for this party rural area and different urban areas. So equally, there is equal support. If there is equal support, there is also strength on that. So regional representation for that Fadera's party to be regionally, what level, at regional level, at national level, in a structure they are all in place. So one of regional list and civil society input. So how do we see Fadera's party? So okay, they give their own input to say, Fadera can be a good choice for this, and if you back him up, and then he's not going to rule We cannot hijack this. Because the rule, there is a legal binding for this. So everybody will bring your inputs. Valid and definitely here. The only boss we have for Fali, is backed by this coalition. So that's what we call weighted electoral college. So it's supported by a lot of arms. So this avoid winner takes all dispute. So if you win, you cannot take everything because you are supported by by arms. So
but Prof, saying albo determine no la nyadile comme patiola sembo albo hayma no la nyadile alba denna nyin carte fay tambira la men soro da bang falba alfansu controle kala bang how would you go about that?
Exactly. Well, thank you. You are seeing, in fact, I think you are on your questions. In fact, you are answering you're giving the answers. Mm-hmm. So the measurement if we are going for that weighted electoral college, the measurement will definitely fall on the last election on 2021 election, president election. We have all seen exactly what were the outcomes of each of these parties. UDP, how many thousands? If we want to percentage that, we know how many percent they got. GDC, how many thousands of votes they got. Then we want to turn that to percentage, Majela, and APP Sobia, how many percent, NUP, how many percent. So more contested, the last election, we have the numbers, of course.
So party could all do.
Percentage is also there. Party could all farang. We will number them. We will still number them because we have methods. We have we use a method. Each of them will have definitely a percentage. So Kobe is transparent. We don't want to be ambiguous in our process. Everything is open, in the room. Those who are attending the meeting, they know that we are really very neutral. We are really very fair. We are not looking at who is who, what is what. We are looking at exactly what the Gambian people want. Everything, even after we have not gone for voting. When you come, we will place you. There is a method we will place you under, or with that method will give you a percentage. Yeah, definitely.
Prof, without running the risk of putting you on the spot, but kafukotangolu men be alla nyin kata ko kono men manke political party to follow. UMC, for example, and you also mentioned another movement. Wala ko be lala nyadile in this process?
Yeah, we will put them on the other group we call, civil society input. I told you about this. Weighted delegate vote combining party, strange regional representatives, and civil society input. So we place them under that, so that they will also bring their inputs. So the input from that is what we measure now. So and then they all have a share of this process. So nobody will see himself or see herself as a party that is isolated. So nobody is there because everybody is important. You see, Fali yaje in Koto, momo distindrong, momo lose drong. There is a divided vote. And wala na intel kambeon anyan telefon anyantele. In fact, it is a necessity. It's not a luxury. This kambeon is a necessity. What kambeon balia? It is we are losing, and then what we are trying for, we will never be happy with. When we even more sound more tattoo. So the walk out, we are not encouraging anybody to walk out, and anybody that want to run in slow, we are asking you to come and partner with this coalition building, and then help solve this problem that the Gambian people are facing. Until we are seeing, I'm telling you, all the political opposition coalition talks, we are involved in this coalition building. They all have the intention to salvage this Gambia because we can see them, we can see that in their faces. This one really want to help Gambian people. Now is the responsibility of the Gambian voters. Let them also come and say, look, we are going to vote for you if you only unite. So I'm telling you, it's going to go down.
But Prof, lafake nyininka menna. I think nyinebe mobe miroto signing. Wole mu fo sobe.
Yes.
ya wakilo je nying opposition party to le bang fete lata la ko nyunu be kamben no la because nyaje mbo fokan ngaje la already walio be caring in terms of nying coalition o ko be tamala nyameng UDP wol finta le kabiring follow la eko eto lel siata nin coalition be kela ela jigomu mendi wala mu ko mo ko tangol nyantale ye bambu itol koma ngajele Esa Fall hani bifango Talib Ahmed Bensouda he was on the newspapers today saying that opposition nyaton ko la tambindro manyan na denna nambala ka foko itel la molu siata to malti so party size la ha so la fa ke nyinin ka menna do you really believe deep down ko nyunu is a kamben nole is ye mokilin tambinde
Fali indel fan kambenta already munanda ngofo kambenta already is kambenta because na nyimito ni kabringa deti from on the 18th of April funds bila capital bay karale everybody responds to the meeting every Saturday and on time so what already literally is already kamben already technically farang there is compromise so saying this question is better because is on every Gambian's mind, as we walk, we head towards December 5th, 2026. Can the opposition really unite? Yes. The short answer is yes. They can.
But Jiko Semba Munela, Prof.
No, this thing because I covering and video that thing. Covering that and we are seeing no disagreement, no agreement in the room. In any agenda that we bring for them, people bring their input. Party leader, they bring their brilliant ideas to say that yes, and nobody is talking about personality. Especially, you are not talking about with your personal or party line. What do you talk about? The agenda that we bring for them. That is the agenda they talk about universally. In fact, they talk about it. Naturally, they are talking about what exactly government people want to know, want to hear, I want to have, and want to hear. Not my party. Nobody is talking about my party. No. So, wala na kambe for aketela already because you don't talk about your party. You talk about Gambia. But I'm telling you. So what among is already there. So it has happened before, but this 2026 is going to happen. Nakambeo is going to happen because we cannot afford to allow 2016 happen. I mean, they don't organize it well because everybody confessed that the party in 2016 it was not organized as how we are doing it. There wasn't any process. There wasn't any process. Documents were not presented. Documents were not put in place. You cannot now ask anybody to bring those documents that they have agreed during 2016. They cannot. So this is already a process that is guided by a code of conduct. And in code of conduct, they have consented to that. They have also accepted that. They have also adopted that. So all that is out of our discussion. So already why unity is already there is and accept they accept what we propose to them. And they finally the most important thing finally this coalition is owned by the parties. It's owned by it's not a coalition that is owned by a single person. Easy one, and it's going to be a very successful one because apparently encourage definitely Gambian
okay.
Nobody want the Gambian people to cry.
But yalo
definitely.
No, Prof lafta fulale ko ka meeting olu attend aning ning flag biara tombonta ka bambu flag biara koma do safo no le fanko to mando bato e manke kilindi yaajele mo jamalu especially kuma kangol men be fokan opposition party lo ka kumol men fe nyoma e da mangol be nyo attack la atna la foj mo jamalu jikalaite in the process hani president Adama Barrow ko kambe ngote kenola bi fango bilinga kankularo ke ko nitele kana kacha ke ni opposition coalition sonyo kankola Mamadou Sabali afinditala ako Iran ning Israel sonyo kan yet World Cup Clinton bindi ako wole be sone ala banko opposition le kafu nyom ngo nyom kuma kan sifa kilin wala fana moy Ahmed Maifati Bulu. So everybody is convinced that the opposition cannot agree on one candidate. So realistically, because itele nyun ko so long, itele a ko so soto katambi mo jamaldi. Itele nyun pati nyaton kuluka nyomoy, itele ka meetingol chair, itele be ko nyimbe kono. Laftale ke nyinin ka fo se Gambian no lu jibe no e nyakono ba ya fo ko sobe ñu opposition party yolu a be tole pour ida mangol ye kambe ye mo tambindi me along andi be bambo amari koma. Do you really see it in them?
Yes, Fali, I am telling you what I know about these people. And yes, opposition incumbent wala government, sitting government, me along you are supporting the sitting government. It is all over, all around the world. So the opposition will draw. They are on their own thing. Any step that they take, people criticize them on that. People talk about that, but it's their own process. People accept that. But what the most important thing is, criticize. Just do what you're doing, and then you know that you are even going to do even better. No more criticize about what you're doing. And I'm telling you, this coalition talks thing. They will stand out there and say, so the most important thing is what we discuss, what we are doing, at the end of the day. In fact, coalition, I am telling you, coalition. In fact, this incumbent is only the easiest way to defeat is opposition coalition. And I'm not saying all the opposition to come together, that may not also come to happen. But if there are only 2, 3, or 4 opposition, I am telling you, Barrow is going down. Barrow cannot sustain this heat. I am telling you, I know what I'm telling you. Barrow, NPP like Bull, they can never sustain. They can say anything they want to say, because that is the only opportunity. That's the only thing they have to say now before on the 5th of December. Because 5th of December they are packing. And I've talked about that. The house is going to be cleared. And with this opposition that I am chairing, with this coalition talks, I am optimistic that they are going to win after the outcome of our process. Definitely.
Talking about the president, Bawambe president la kufokang. Wari sota nung komando adiamuta nung ako abesasiro kela opposition la puri ikana deng nyola mana me kana kafu ye coalition oke aka abe challenge la alaftale puri idamangoli ye kunkili na dun nyinkate fayo kono la fake nyininka mena. What do you make of that statement? Yo mona karangoto.
Yeah, but Fali, we're covering statement more fun because I think covering that I left Ghana, I came back to the Gambia, and ngani mito dati covering dati ngamwele ko okay. He said mota boindi no na except coalition da ngamo fala mwele that wala kuma follow kuma the second version ningolum say natural hanyatale alkana kambe alta in solola you go in different districts that is contradictory. Is only a confused politician that talks like that.
Do you think he's scared of a coalition? Yamero kasile the coalition onyale.
Coalition, there is no president in the world. Me alonko a hanyata coalition. There is no president. In fact, all successful coalitions, in fact, if you want to get rid of an incumbent that is trying to be resistant or try to be oppressive to the citizens, the only best way is to form a coalition. Not all politicians and opposition can come together, but if you should come together, they are getting him down. So he knew that very well. Anabaro knows that. Anabaro came as a result of the 2016 coalition. Even with that, it was not. But the 2016, we're not going to get rid of Yaya Jammeh if they have not come together and formed that coalition they talk about. Even though it was not organized, even though it was not documented, even though it was not strategically, formed. So it was a convenient. We call it coalition on convenient. That coalition, I told Alifa about that. And I said the coalition was formed on convenient, but it was not on strategic. So what are the coalition? They will let them talk. But what is going to happen will happen. Change the Yes. Nobody can stop that. With the outcome of this coalition, I am telling you, finally, change the Kelale. I don't borrow any mall. Let them start packing now before they are crossed. It is best to gracefully exit or to gracefully resign than to be crossed with a defeat. At this opposition coalition, I am telling you. Let them talk there. Yes, let them discourage people who want to listen to them. But the people who are definitely listening to this coalition, this is the only solution. And when this coalition fail, when Gambian fail to embrace this coalition, Adama Barrow will ride on their backs, and nobody will be able to help them anymore. Yes.
Mbadi ngolu ning Professor Mballow lebe jang atele mu chairman oti National Opposition Mediation Task Force. Waketa kafuti mealon ko wolelbe nyaton ka ke kan banko opposition la so nyokan la anin kambengo kamo kilin tambindi ay elo oppositional toyala nin kate finala menyanda sotla Gambia banko kan ngamo jamal soto jamen yalon ko e benjibe ka live internet or Facebook ne YouTube men siata mo keme worodi andu ibe nyinin karol fanan ke kanne anim fanan ibe la mirol fanan sata kanne ko la men yalon ko ibe wollel moy kan kacha me yalon ko ning Professor Yerro be wole soto kan nyin tembenna Professor one of the followers nga kilin soto jang molu kono membe jibe kan memu lay jammeti ata ko ala miroto alman time soto wato mantara al bulu ne jibe loke nin karte fo temola nyin tembenna wo mu December tembe June la kono men tuta jaman hani kar lulu si kar woro mona muy la jabiroti woto
tamo nying tamo so wala na we are actually fast tracking our thing. Yeah, tamo fang asota why because we wanted to extend it up to September, October, November, December. Usually coalition me alonko this thing just to make sure that you put your house in order. You go for 3 months before election. But until we want to give them a time so that by July Gambia will be abalone and yin one of the flag bearer, the face of the opposition coalition. So there is time, definitely. What is taking, but there is no time. But there is time because if you measure coalition opposition, coalition talks in Kenya, I can in Ghana, in Senegal, So only it was just a little time that they were giving in order to put things because it was based on coalition to change. Change the regime only. And I told you about coalition on convenience. So what we are fast tracking. We are giving time, a space, for government people to, also look at exactly what going to be what for this coalition. So wrong. We have open nomination signed. We could have kept this nominations until 3 months to election. Then we open the nomination. But because we have time, we are down putting all these things up and all the documents, all the incentives for this coalition talks, towards a choose.
Mbadingolu wole mu Professor Yerro Mballow a felem fotala interneto bari Yerro ko nga fe nyamen atele mu tax force chairman oti tax force me alonko wala bakata ki kan kaji ko de ye banko opposition lu so nyokan isaje kambe ngoni kankili ya soto idam mangolu tema nyin kate finala menkana Gambia banko kanden men sumanta naten kali amoy nyamen na ata duye meitandi wala mu ko ako July karotil tanning kelingola ako nadiata alaye ebe kankularo kela mola me alonko wala be nyaton ka kela opposition party la men alonko wolel be nyin coalition kacha kono nyin tembenna membe ke kan Gambia banko kam professor fanan ya itandi je ko ako ay jiko sotole ko banko oppositionolu a wakilo betole ala fo fanan betole kaje ko de ibe mo Clinton bindi ibe bambu amari koma ay tani je ko yenyi nomination fana yelele même mo kakirlo ke oppositionol la pour ila fita opposition party la anin kafol men be nyin kacha kono pour ila fita momo tambin la dron e sa mari to futandi tolma wose keno ni nyasi fa jamalla patiyolu e kunkilinali da mawlu se la tolu it sambanole kayitandi kon to lafta nyine tambi nyato bari même fana se keno wala mo pati fula pati saba pati nani e be se denno nyolale ye candidate Clinton bindi ko lafta nyine ken candidate oti ka carte ka flag biara nyine opposition coalition patiol toyala silan kobel nyin tembeneto banko opposition lu ba ko tamala nyamen wo mu kuleti me alon ko moje follow bari men koyta na kacha kono ning professor Yerro Mballow nin jiko be sirine ko president ni opposition patiolu ibebe kamben nolale ibe son nolal nyomale ka mo kilin tambindi membe mabela i toyala ka ke flag biarati nyin kate final me alon ko Gambianolu be ñatilin kan Gambianolu ye ñatilin wala ten men keta December 2026 benyin December karim men kono ten foda Yerro Mballow bari njikita ko na ñininkar kuma jamal beje na wala be kacale atol men fanam ben jibe kan ngali jayi ngal tentu alla bulo no majang fo YouTube lembam fo Facebook mo keme jamalu wolel ben jibe kan ngal be jayi ngal tentu alla fasaro la jang ngado soto jam mbe commentsol dolu tala katabake janning mbe kacha kumfala nga Mustafa Diouf soto jang afana me ataben jibe kam Facebook le article, don't we think if leader of the coalition is selected now, there could be divisions before December 5th? Atabe memfoka wole moko atala miroto ako akamta ko coalition nyaton ko be tombon kan junale akabe sari menna wole moko niyo mari tombon kabrin sain kambe mbaliani nyomo baliase wuluno wo konole janning December be sila karte fe lungola wo munyinin kar kumati I think ninga Prof Mballow selendino janimbe kacha kumfala mba nyinin kala wo nyong nyinin kar kumma balale nga do sore jang mento mu arjabina sanati ni arjabina sane ataben jibe kam Facebook le atako I don't see a coalition with UMC and UDP involved so ataben mem foka wala moko atala miroto atama mirako UMC Talib Ahmed Bensouda la politique kafo ani UDP Sejano Dimba killing akala mirota mamira ko iseddo no nyola ye coalition ye tara coalition killing okono wala mo atla miroti kajatu me alon ko mbolo soto kam ngado soto jam menketa Aliou Sanati Aliou Sane afana mu Bitilo kibaro fasa la balati akam bulanno mabake atako I think there cannot be any consensus akatla mirodo ni oppositional damawol te kambenno la songote soto no le damawol tema kamo tambindi ka foko amanjere kate faye ke be lafta nyine tammi nga bambo amari koma akatela mirodo wonyon kusi fate kenola ko ateaje nyamenna mbadi ngolu mbe Prof Mballow kata kanne ka soto lainoto ma asoto no nyama bari ngamira na nyininkaro kumari nyamal beje nga nyininka wollale andu nadiata alaye mbe tenten nale ka jibe fomba soto no wati koten janning nying jula karotil tan ning kilingo be sila nay dinka kacha nying kono ngal jey ngal tentu alala moy kunyima kan ana labulo no majang anal badi malum falli fadera nying arbana la mem Wednesday ning honorable Lamin Kaba Bajole be kacha sotola akira modi malum ka tele mo president Gambia Football Federation banko kardam fukunda nata be kacha kila kujama lamen be dending sanjitan nim fenna ay menke Gambia Football Federation nyaton kayala nyaarutan yirwa ko men sorta anin kolyal men yalon koy wolel taki anin kujamal men be dending banko kardam fukunda la nyintem benal sebulan noma wa arabalunga la ning honorable Lamin Kaba Bajola kacha fanan kono mbadi ngol ngal jey ngal tento ala mo kunyima kan alnal badi malum falli fadera ko ngafo nyamen drom be tenten nale ka katakoluke ka Bitilo betandi ka nyinyandi al fananse tara al fangoleje al kalim mako e kam fasa al se o keno ni nyamen na wole munal ka subscribe na channel to for YouTube lem for Facebook lem akam to ko Professor Mballow so line to ko rekele sa jibe nga nga jibe from nase kacha tenden no leba nga kumfa. Prof, is that you?
Yeah.
Yes. So mbari ngolo nga Professor Sorejang Korekele. Prof, nga nyin karo men soto nung kabo one of our listeners bulu abeden ni men na wole mu wole mu time oti muna mu ila jabi roti woto.
Go tamo bijele wala na ngani open. We have what we call this window opening for flag bearer selection. I mean nomination for flag bearer. So tamo fele bijele wala na ndel na doko bebe you know bebe is in a process anu fanang ye la kule, you know, ndung fanang we doing it, you know, I mean on the right step wala na man koronto, you know, man fara muka ko jahase, you know, ko bebe, you know, ikala kule. So wala na we have time, wala then definitely we are really going our process is very smoothly going, definitely, because on the 1st, on the 18th of April, we talk about, you know, the TOR, so now, Tambitawala Code of Conduct, Tambitawala Common Agenda, Tambitawala, we have done selection criteria, and we have the framework for our coalition framework. Now, you know, so time of BJL and the commitment for a united opposition front in 2026 for a common agenda. So, Kobe later, you know, Nyama. So, time of BJL definitely. And natural time of that we will all have to do things within 3 months, and then we hand over, you know, the face of the coalition to the Gambian people. After 2016 for our they rust. And then they rose because there was necessity. People were not seeing anything that was on paperwork. What they were seeing is only a coalition with, or, you know, the handshake. And so in Kenya, Frank, coalition Bari, it was in a rose. We have seen Senegal, Frank, 2024 coalition, party or candidate-led coalition that we are Frank, this thing we have seen how they roast things. So until now we are not roasting. So time of we are not roasting, definitely.
So this is a personal question. Ita kundingo fue mo soto lebang iba fala menako ning atara you know ita bela fla ko ita lafta la nyameng ko ita bela fla wale ke you know coalition nyatum ko. Do you have a personal preference to lead the coalition?
No, until I've said it. I think we as our mandate.
No, I'm asking you as an individual.
No. Yes, if that was going to happen, you know who I will select?
Yes, who?
I will definitely select Fali Fadera, definitely.
But that's so kind of you, Prof. But I am not part of the process.
But
with
that, you can be independent candidate. You can come out and become an independent candidate. One of the coalition, only party. No, you can be an independent. You know, somebody who doesn't belong to any party, neutral. We can bring him, and that's what the beauty of coalition. That's the beauty. If parties certainly do not meet the requirement or the eligibility criteria, and somebody from outside, you know, who is independent, so that's the beauty of coalition. Coalition it has a big, you know, arm. It has an open arm. Yaji, that's the beauty of it.
Prof, abaraka baki ngabra ntolu Michael mutala alintolu bula Michael doron follow. But it la fake nyini kamen. A lot of people, if I have to be honest with you, mo jamal be silari menna wole muko UDP for example ani UMC ko it jano la dimba killing. I don't know whether you suite la bang any la kachakono your interaction with them during this process. Do you see any reason why? Have you seen ningatara yedda lije so far from any of these political parties mensa itan dinola ko ñunu de ite kamben nola wara ite ñomoy nola because small be selari wolela dol sa foy ko UDP ni modo tambe ni te sonna because iba flal kontrolel siata mo ko tangolu fanan ni nga tara ñaaton ko bota UDP le la karola isa foko ha loya Ousainou Dabo is not electable coming ikafa nyaming. He's not electable. Ika wala for ha molta wafi nola. So I don't know. Ngamira nyine mu moja mal silandati. Wala mu coming nyunu ibe lori nyoe nyame nyin koto. Akamta komforta Prof Mballow la kota kele. You know, interneto mfota la jele. But we will try again to see. From Basuto no lale. Nimma soto no sign. I guess we will have to do this another time. Katun interneto be koleari in tembena. Yeah, for the Prof Mballow la korekele mbadingolu ko be kolearing kurama ning interneto abe mantra sahari nyin tembena gambe banko kan bari ngal be jey ngal tentu ala la moyro kan ala jibero kan ala la fasaro kan tuba mar aben jibe kan bitilo ter kafunyo nga fanan jay nga tentu alama tilo to dia la mbadingolu alama be tan kala katani katato la wassalam ala baraka bake.
You're listening to Bitilo with Mfali Fadera.